When did you start with Royal Legal Solutions?
Yeah, so I started working with Royal Legal Solutions about 3 months ago.
And what was your goal when you first started?
I had a chance to meet Scott Royal Smith about 6 months ago, and that's when I first heard about Royal Legal Solutions. And I thought, if the next time I get into real estate and I start a real estate business, I'm going to do it through Royal Legal Solutions because I really liked the setup that he told me about. I really liked the way that he structured his LLCs and trusts, and it made a lot of sense to me. So I thought, okay, the next time I'm doing it, I'm going to ask for his help.
And based on the goal that you had in mind originally, do you feel like we've helped you achieve that goal?
I definitely think so. Of course, it hasn't been tested in the line of fire. I haven't
Sure.
received any lawsuits yet, thank goodness, and hopefully I never will. So far, I'm very happy with both the level of service I received as well as the quality of the work.
How long you've been investing?
Oh my goodness, yeah. I've been dabbling in the stock market now for probably close to 20, 25 years, but real estate only about 15 years. And I really only started to scale up with real estate about 4 years ago.
What did your investments look like before starting with us, and has it changed afterwards?
My investments before working with Royal Legal Solutions were quite scattered, right? In other words, I had an LLC here, I had a property in my own name over there, and it was just all over the place. And it was only in the last couple of years that I started to really think about, okay, there has to be a more structured way to do this, a better way to do this. And so it was only in the last couple of years that I got a family trust in place. And ever since that, it's okay, now every time I have an LLC, I work with Royal Legal Solutions, and all my LLCs point up to trusts, all my trusts point up to a hub LLC, which then points back to my trust, etc. So it's much more organized, it's much better protected, and I think I'm in a much better shape in the event that I face an unexpected lawsuit, or in the unexpected event I pass away or something like that. I feel like I'm much better prepared.
How were the assets typically held before? Was it just a smattering of LLCs, trusts, personal name, or was it mostly in your personal name?
It was all of the above. I had some rental properties in my own name, which is silly, but that's just how it ended up. And then, of course, now that I have my LLCs, all my LLCs are now under the hub and spoke LLC structure recommended by Royal Legal Solutions. But prior to working with Royal Legal Solutions, yeah, I had some properties in my own name, some businesses under LLCs. Sometimes the LLC was owned by me, sometimes owned with a friend, etc. And there was no structure to it.
What specific problems, if you could name them, did you have when you came to us, and what were your frustrations?
Yeah, it's interesting. So most of my recent real estate investments are in a small town in the Midwest. And we started working with a lawyer and an accountant in that town. And what we found was that those individuals were not really used to working with investors. And so they give really good service when it's just like run-of-the-mill, average type situations. But as soon as a legal structure became more complicated than usual, or the tax situations were a little bit outside the norm, they maybe weren't as ready, or they maybe weren't as well equipped as a firm like Royal Legal Solutions that has hundreds of clients who are full-time investors or part-time investors or have a lot of investing experience. And so I just feel a lot more comfortable working with Royal Legal Solutions because they bring that experience to the table. They work with real estate investors all day long. And so they know the edge cases that a smaller, less experienced accountant or lawyer may not know of.
Did our solution improve your work and life as far as investing goes?
I would say that I'm sleeping better. So
Counts for
thank you.
something, yeah.
Thank you for that. Yeah.
What would have happened if you wouldn't have taken action, do you think? You think you just would have stayed on the same line with just disparate investments?
I think I would have just continued on course. Yeah. When I met Scott Royal Smith, like I said, about 6 months ago, and he explained to me typically is set up with the Spoke LLC trust, Hub LLC trust, etc. That was the first time I had ever heard of that setup. Who knows? Maybe if I had met him 6 months ago, I still would have never heard about it. It's just not something that you stumble across unless you really have a chance to meet someone who's in that industry, who knows the ins and outs. And so I feel very fortunate and lucky that I had a chance to meet him, and here I am. But most likely, I would still be doing everything the way was doing it prior to meeting him.
Where did you hear about us? Was it at like a podcast that you heard, or an actual like live event, or
That's exactly it. I met him on the Money Seed podcast, which is a podcast I run with my friend. So he was actually a guest on my show. Ever since that episode, I was like, okay, the next time I open an LLC or the next time we set up another structured setup, we're going to work with him. And so far, I have not regretted that decision.
What was your experience generally with our products and team?
No, so far, I have received an answer to every question I've had. Email communication is typically fast, and the service is professional. It seems like the individuals I interact with at Royal Legal Solutions, they know what they're doing. They're quick to respond to questions I had. So far, it's been a positive experience.
What area do you think you got the most value from, and why do you think that is?
The most value, I think, is from the LLC trust structure that's been set up. I think over time, as we continue to add LLCs to that structure, I think that's going to help us out in the long run in terms of like value, just from a pure money point of view and a security point of view. I think that's going to help us tremendously as we continue to grow our businesses over the next 5-10 years. And that's probably, I also am very comfortable knowing that if something goes wrong, I think Royal Legal Solutions has a really good combination of lawyers and accountants who I can rely on to help me out. And so I also feel pretty secure from that point of as well.
How likely would you be to refer us to friends and family?
Highly likely.
Why, if you had to recommend us to somebody, why should somebody consider doing business with us?
You know what? If I had a 20-second elevator pitch and if I was just overhearing a conversation where somebody was saying, hey, look, I'm thinking about doing some real estate investing. I got to set up an LLC, or I got to do this, or how should I do it? I would say, you know what? Go visit Royal Legal Solutions. They'll help you out because that's what you need. If you're into real estate and maybe you don't have this legal structure set up yet, or you're not sure how to go about it, you got to talk to somebody who has been in real estate for a long time and is a professional at doing it. Go talk to Royal Legal Solutions. I think if you're a real estate investor, you should at least be aware of what Royal Legal Solutions does and maybe work with them or work with another firm that offers a similar type service.